Good morning and welcome to this demonstration session, this live 3D biopsy case. We are here in Buc, where we are in the headquarters of mammography for Europe. This is the place where sonograph Pristina, that is just behind me, has been designed and is currently manufactured. I'm today with my colleague Camille, clinical leader for mammography in Europe, and myself, I'm Colin Auclair, product marketing manager for mammography. The session today will consist of a demonstration of a biopsy case, a complex case, to show you the benefits of our biopsy system, our biopsy suite called Pristina Serena 3D. We'll go step by step through a biopsy procedure to understand how to use this system. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration and we'll take your questions at the end of the session. Thank you very much, Camille. The screen is yours.
Thank you, Colin. So indeed, we are in front of sonograph Pristina, which is now in routine mode. With Pristina, you can take 2D, 3D, and CSM routine images. But today, as Colin said in introduction, we are going to go through a 3D biopsy case. So just for your information, with Pristina, it is possible to do 2D guided biopsy, 3D guided biopsy, and now CSM guided biopsy. There are other sessions dedicated to CSM guided biopsy that we invite you to join if you're interested to learn more about this innovative technique. So for now, let's first transform this Pristina into an interventional suite. So for this, I remove the breast support by pressing 2 buttons below. And I will insert the Serena kit so using this rolling card. So you never have to hold the Pristina Serena kit. You only have to slide it and insert it on the detector. It gets initiated. So Serena is a motorized robot motorized in 3 directions, X, Y, and Z. And you will use this touch screen to generate any movement. So at the beginning of the procedure, I put it in parking position. And one of the main features is how easy it is to switch from a vertical approach, as it is right now, to a horizontal approach. So you just have to rotate this knob and pivot, either to have a horizontal left approach or a horizontal right approach. Another nice feature is the possibility to use this laser guide when you are doing your anesthesia. So as you can see, this laser will pinpoint the entrance point of the biopsy needle so that you know where to inject your anesthetic product. So for today, we are going to do a case. Our patient has a retroareolar lesion. We know it's a challenging location to target because the retroareolar plaque is elastic, very difficult to insert a needle here. And for the patient, it would be, well, first very bloody and very painful. So that's why instead of doing a vertical approach, we would prefer a horizontal approach. So we will pivot the robot. And because of the location right behind the nipple of this lesion, we will use a breast spacer to elevate the breast and allow to target this location without any risk of collision with the breast support. So we are going to use this phantom for the demonstration. For the paddles, there are two arms. So this one is the right arm, and there is a symmetric left arm that you can slide in. And there are two different paddle. This one without any aperture for the horizontal approach is the one that we are going to use. And there is a dedicated one with an aperture for the vertical approach. So we go to the parking position. And we position our patient. We are ready to target our lesion. So I will move to the acquisition room and open our patient. So on the screen, you now see on the top left the acquisition console, which is a touch screen, so on which you will select, we will see right now, I start the biopsy. You can select the laterality of the breast, then the position of the patient. So the patient can be either sitting or lying, and I recommend position. Either recommend left or recommend right. For this example, let's consider that our patient is sitting. We have to tell the system that the breast spacer is on. And so you see on that we have the possibility to choose between the different image type for the biopsy. We are going to do a 3D biopsy procedure for this demonstration, but you have the possibility, in fact, to switch during the procedure to 2D images if you wish. And so the CSM is the new capability to biopsy the enhancing lesion that you have seen under CSM. And the sample mode is to check that your microclassification are in the sample. We are going to use it at the end of the procedure. On the bottom left of your screen, this is the acquisition monitor, where you're going to see the image appear. So I am taking the 3D acquisition. So it means when you replace the triplet by a single tomo sweep, you divide the dose for the patient by 3. So on the acquisition monitor, you see in blue the biopsy volume, but for the targeting, the field of view is much broader to enable you to know how to reposition your patient if the lesion is not inside the biopsy volume. On the left, you have a ruler that tells you where you are in the biopsy volume, the 0 being the breast support or the breast spacer in our case, and this blue line being the compression paddle. So I can scroll in my volume to know where I want to target my lesion. Then I right-click and I position my target. I select the needle. For this demonstration, we're going to use the Mammotum Revolve, but Pristina Serena is compatible with all the biopsy gun available on the market. And when I have selected my needle, this dynamic schema tells me if my lesion is accessible given the chosen needle and the environment. So in that case here, we have a warning telling me that we are closer to the paddle plate. It's a warning. It's not preventing me for sending the target. If I were a little bit up, then the color coding would be red, telling me that there is a collision risk and preventing me from sending the target. If I move a little bit further down, I'm still within my cluster of macro classification, and I see that now the color code is green. My lesion is accessible without any risk of collision. So I will send this coordinate to the robot and go back. So I press this button to move the biopsy robot in regards to the lesion. And as I am in horizontal approach, I will insert the dinner guide support. And at that step, you would perform the anesthesia. So you can use the laser guide to tell you where to actually insert your anesthetic needle. So here there is a little space to do your anesthesia. So what you can do is use this max button here to laterally move away the biopsy arm to have a bigger space to work and insert your anesthetic. Once you're done, you can remove the laser and put it back in the storage area and move back your biopsy arm on position. So to insert the biopsy gun on the biopsy arm, there is this adapter, and you have to slide it on the rail. And then you can press this black button and slide the robot arm up until you reach a mechanical stop. So you know that you have reached your target. You cannot go further. You have this mechanical stop. And on the display, the needle turns from black to green. So it's an important point. You don't have to care about the exact target coordinate. You know you will be on target thanks to this mechanical stop, so you can concentrate on your patient, on your needle, instead of looking at your coordinates. So we will now check if the needle is at the right place. So at that stage, you can the needle can be, depending on the case, either in a pre-fire or post-fire. In our case, because the lesion is in a retroareolar lesion, the gun is already in post-fire position. So I will acquire a 3D view to see if my needle is correctly positioned. So on the monitor, the next view comes below the previous one. You can double click to enlarge it. And so you see that the needle is very well depicted with no artifacts, and my target is right in the middle of the notch. So we can now proceed to the sampling. If at that stage I would like to adjust a little bit the position of my needle, either because my target has moved or for any reason, I could have done it from the acquisition monitor, but I can also do it here from the touch screen. You can use those X, Y, and Z coordinates to a little bit move the needle in X, Y, or Z direction. So I click to the new target, and my needle will move very slowly because the system detects that it is inside the breast. So I do my sample, and now I would like to check that I have my microcalcification in my sample. So for this, you now have this collimator blade that you can just slide, and that will prevent any irradiation on the patient, but just leave you a small field of view to position your sample. So you remove the basket, you take your sample, you put them in a plastic box, and on the acquisition console you press the sample mode. So you see this field of view under the light here, so you just have to position your box in this field of view, and you can take a sample image. So on the acquisition console, we select the sample mode, and then we can take our image. We have here our macrocalcification, our sample, and we do see our macrocalcification inside. So the biopsy is successful. We can now deploy the clip. So you can do either 2D or 3D acquisition to check the position of the clip. And then to remove the needle, you press again on this black button, remove the needle from the breast, and press this purple button to remove the gun from the arm. I move back to the parking position, and I can release my patient. So this is a step-by-step how we can perform a 3D biopsy procedure. I would like to pause here and take any questions if you have.